This is a HeadGum podcast.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to A Funny Feeling Podcast. I'm Betsy Sidaro.
And I'm Marcy Jarrow. This is a podcast where comedians tell us their paranormal experiences, and we listen to yours as well.
Oh, yeah. And if you have one of these paranormal experiences that you want to share with us, please email it to us at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Now get cozy.
And prepare yourself to be scared silly.
This is a Funny Feeling podcast. Hey, Betsy.
Hey, Marcy.
I'm really excited for not just us, but I'm really excited for our listeners because this guest this week has been requested.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so, because I feel we've talked about them quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yes.
From your birthday party.
Yes. I feel like it was one of the coolest birthday parties I ever had because she was here giving the party favor, I would say.
The ultimate party favor, man.
We won't beat around the bush too much. We have intuitive medium and author of Peering into the Narrow Room, Adela Lavine.
Hi, guys. Wow. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a request. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was the party favor. Sounds like other things. Let's make
No, I should
Oh my
clarify.
God, yeah, that does sound kind of like...
Because entertainment,
I like it.
I can't see what sounds worse, entertainment or party favor. They both sound very sexy, I guess. So.
They both sound. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
For my birthday, I was like, wouldn't it be fun if everyone was able to get either intuitive or mediumship reading? And it was. Everyone
It was awesome.
blown away. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was really rad.
And then my house was haunted for a little bit afterwards.
I mean,
It was fun.
is it really haunted or just people noticing you noticed them, you know?
Yeah.
Just hanging out,
People
having a good time.
chilling.
Joining the party.
Yes, absolutely. So Adela, tell us about all the stuff you did, because you specifically told us intuitive medium. So tell us what that entails.
Right. Well, I see myself like a modern seer. You know, that's another term I go on. I do two types of readings, and they are very different. Now, I've been reading for going on 20 years professionally. So back then, there was no term psychic medium. That's a new term. That's almost the past 10 years. And so people tend to blur the lines and kind of, it almost appears like they can just do everything. So it's not very clear on what that actually means. So I've always stuck to intuitive and medium. And also back then, psychic was kind of a dirty word. So I didn't want to be associated a lot with that. People are way more into things now than they were then. And I kind of saw myself as an intuitive that saw things. So I just stuck with that. And that part of me, I do remote viewing when I do those type of readings. And kind of what people know remote viewing for today, lately, is the show Stranger Things, which is based on remote viewing, which is not the telekinesis where she's tossing things around. I wish, but it's more working on it. When I was little, I used to believe I should be able to do this.
Yes.
And I used to stare at stuff. But remote viewing is being able to see the past, present, and future. However, the difference with remote viewing is like in the show, I can walk through people's house. I can see and see this is on your wall. This is over here. Past conversations, like in those readings, if someone wants to know about a job they're going to apply to or a relationship, I can say, well, this is what I see this person, like I did a reading like that today. This is what I see they're really doing, or this is what they're saying, because I can remote view them. And I can see a past conversation someone has had, or like the employers, this is what they're saying about you. But in in my intuitive read, I love Betsy.
Whoa.
She's got the best
Whoa.
expressions. But I used to play with it, and back in the day, I've done it like to people I was dating just for fun.
That's what
over
I
the
was
phone.
thinking
Yeah.
of. I was
Have you
like,
ever
are
done
you not
psychic
just doing it all the
espionage?
I have absolutely remote viewed people. I've done it to, I have a kid, so I've done it to his teachers, and I've been right. Yeah, I guess I put that out there. And I've been right about it. And I've done it to people you're like, I don't know if I feel good about this person, so I'll remote view their house and see what they're really up to.
What?
But I don't do it to intrude. It's more like a safety. Or if I'm worried about someone and they haven't gotten back to me, I'll remote view and see what they're doing.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
I do it mostly every day in readings where I can look around and, like I said, see things for people that they have questions about. Because people always have questions about someone they're dating or future employment, and they're not sure if they're going to like these people. And I'll go, well, let me see what they're really about. And then I like confirmation. So if I tell the person this is what the office looks like, they're like, yeah, that's it. This is what they look like. There's 3 people you're interviewing with. And so confirmation's important. And I also remote view in my medium readings to kind of describe the house. The medium reading is talking to someone who's passed on, which I'll explain that one. So remote viewing, I never used to come public about it because there was so much. People were like, the CIA is looking for people like you. And it freaked me out. Like, people freaked me out about it. And then one day I was like, well, I think, yeah, I've been out online for a while. So I think it's over. People know that I do this. So I might as well just explain what it is I'm doing. So I started being more public about it. But it's pretty much being able to see the future, past, and present. The only thing it doesn't work so great on is missing people. And I thought it was just me until I read someone, people send me stuff about a CIA agent who worked with remote viewers and said that that's what they found too, missing people. I have a theory about time and space, and that you're interfering with someone's life when you're going, oh, I found this person, this is where they are. So you're affecting the future. So
Like,
as a modern seer, I'm a big believer in time and space and dimensions and quantum physics and stuff.
Like, you're
So
not
it kinda makes
supposed to
sense.
find them because, like,
Yeah, right.
tragic or unfortunate as it might be, it needs to play out the way it needs to play out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've tried, trust me, and I've had people come to me, and I definitely will not do it if they haven't gone to the police first, because I don't need people like, well, how did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need
Yeah, I don't need to be brought in on this stuff.
I don't need that, right. I don't need that kind of thing.
Wow.
And so it is kind of my favorite thing to do. And I did used to do it online a lot. Back in the day when Periscope, before TikTok, I would do lives and remote view people just for fun. And they thought it was fun. I would be like, oh, this is what your house looks like. And going inside is key because you don't want someone to think you Google map them. So I want to walk through the house and see what's going through on there. So that's kind of like a fun thing to do. But it's also, like, on a serious note, it does help quite a bit. And it's helped me in my personal stuff too. And a medium reading is speaking to someone who's passed on. And the way I work, it took me a lot of years to figure out how to do this, which is you ask specifically who you want to talk to. So I'm not a medium that's like, oh, whoever shows up. If you say I want to talk to my grandmother on my father's side, I want to talk to my best friend I grew up with. That's all I need to know, because they can see and hear you fine. So they already knew, because there's no time there. So they already knew this was happening. So they even knew before me. This is just my little ritual with the other sides to keep the rest at bay. So I'm like, they said this person, so the rest of you be quiet. That's like my role with them, because the spirit world are not reverent. They're just people. So they'll like bombard. And so in that reading, I'll have them tell me how they died. So I like confirmation again. And that's when I do use remote viewing. They'll show me the house they grew up in, their car, very specific details and stuff.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
How did you realize you could do that? Like,
Yeah, it's like when it comes to sight, it's like it's when I watched it like I was obsessed on like referring to like when I do like online stuff like Instagram or TikTok, Stranger Things, because I was like, oh, finally there's something that kind of shows it, right? And it's like in the show where you practice, you notice in each season she has to like find ways. Like I do it fully awake, eyes open. I don't do it with my eyes closed, but I did start like how she did, where you lay down and you need complete silence, or you need I use music to kind of get me there. But it since stages my sight. So I use all the senses. I can see, hear, feel, I get taste and smell. So all the clairs, as they say. So this one happened because I read this person, and this doctor who died was like, I need you to help my wife. And he's like, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you what's going on. And that was one of the ways. And then another way was a client I had. Oops, sorry, I hit the table. And she had someone who passed, and I used to read for her quite a bit. It was kind of like a young love, and he died young. And she was pretty young. And all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to show you how you could do this. Let me show you her room. So she started telling me like, this is what I started seeing the colors of her walls, things in her closet. And I was like, how am I doing this? And he's like, I'm showing you how to do this. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, I'm like, why do you have splotches on your wall? She goes, because I'm going to paint my wall and I'm finding out different colors. I was like, wow, what the hell's going on? Something's changing around.
Yeah.
And he taught me. He was I've learned everything from that realm. So it's kind of like as you understand stuff, your sight changes. The rawness has always been the same for me, but that took a while to figure out and how to hone it and master it over, just like in the show where she gets quicker and faster. Yeah.
Do you ever do like fun little ones for yourself? Like, I'm gonna pop into Disneyland.
I was thinking, like, do you ever go to Paris? Do you ever go like taste like something in Paris?
I wish. I mean, I think it just doesn't. I think it's kind of like not the same vibe because, like, unlike the show, you're not literally getting to be in this place. Like they have to, TV. They have to make it more pleasing for the audience to exaggerate it. But I have done things like I said, where I'm like, I really want to kind of see what's up. Yeah. And I'm just going to play and see what's up with this person and see what's going on and kind of see what's their house looks like. Are they really? Wow. In a way, that's fun to me because then I kind of like feel good then when I find out that I was on spot. Yeah. I've never tried it the other way because it's kind of like if you go, those fake fires you could put on your TV and you're like, oh, it looks pretty and it's cool, but I really now just wish I had a fire.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like that's how I feel like, I really want to just be in Paris. This isn't quite the same, but I have done it in the ways of like, let me kind of mess with someone a little bit to make sure I did it one time. I was court. It wasn't anything like criminal or anything. It was just boring type of stuff. And I was like, I wonder what this judge is like. And I went and I saw the judge. And then I was like, I don't think it's going to go well. Maybe I just won't get involved. And I turned out I was right about her. So
wait, because Betsy, you like haven't, this week you are on call for jury duty, but you haven't been called yet. But could you get out of jury duty by being like, unfortunately, Your Honor, I am an intuitive medium and I'm going to know too much about them?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Many of my friends who are readers use the fact that they're psychic to get out of jury duty. They do not want you. First of all, if they don't want you, because even if they don't believe you, they're like, you believe it. So you're already biased.
Yeah.
So they don't, yeah, it works really well to say like, well, I'm psychic. That's what I do for a living. Obviously I would say psychic, not intuitive. I mean, they would know what I was talking about. And
Right.
they go like, well, either she is, but people would be surprised. I read for judges. I read for lawyers. A lot of them come to me, much more than people think. Yeah.
Especially in LA,
Right.
we're just a this is like a whole city of people who are like, well, I'll try anything.
Yeah,
right?
why not?
That's true. But I read all over the world and the country, and they're
Wow.
in places people would be surprised.
Now-
In the South, I read a lot in the South.
Well, that also tracks for me because I feel like, as someone from Louisiana, I'm like, no matter what they say about church, they're very into this stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, yeah.
A lot of
For sure.
superstitions and stuff like that. Now, I have talked about it on the podcast already, but I was recently in Lilydale.
You went to
I
Lilydale?
went there a few weeks ago.
What?
Yes, and
What was it like?
we just popped in. It's all these like old Victorian, like beautiful homes, and like, you can walk through the woods. It's one of the old. It's like one
Should
of the.
I retire there?
If you join
I
this,
think so.
let me tell you. So a lot of the psychics and mediums there are very old,
Yes,
and
I heard.
to
I've seen.
live there, to buy a home there, you have to both be a member of the Spiritualist Assembly.
Okay, I've heard that too. Yeah, no, that's it. I'm out.
And you have to be certified.
Okay.
Then you have to be certified. But the homes there, I looked on Zillow because it's so impossible to sell them because you have to meet that and be a certified. Like they have to certify that you are a medium.
Right.
They're like for a 4,000 square foot Victorian style home, it is like $150,000. Like
Oh,
it.
join that
what is this
assembly
church
thing.
again? Yeah.
Now, that part of upstate New York is, and it's like,
Whoa.
like it's a spiritualist church. So it's like, I don't know, like I like took a picture of like not their commandments, but I guess sort of their commandments. I could probably find it and pull it up. But I was like, so what? Because we just popped in and we end up going to a service. So,
Oh, wow.
and basically the service is just like them being like, okay, part of what we do here is we think it's our job to prove that mediumship is real. So it was just like 4 or 5 different like mediums, like being like, is there a person, is there a father figure? And it's very funny. I've already said this, so I apologize, guys. But me and my friend, like, they were like, one of you two, it's you, because it was funny because me and 2 of my friends all had the same color hair.
Right.
And they were like, you two, like, so she narrowed it down to the 2 of us. And she was like,
Right.
someone's grandmother, and like, she has arthritis. And then I was like, I just had this like feeling. I was like, this is my grandmother. And then like, as she kept talking, my friend was like, nope, it's mine. And then
Yeah,
I was like, but I don't know that it was yours. And then later she's like, that didn't sound like my grandma. And I was like, well, the medium got so confused when you were, then she's like, well, maybe it's too, you could tell it through her that she was like, wait, I thought I was really connecting with you.
Yeah.
But I was annoyed. So here's the principles of spiritualism.
Okay.
We believe in God. We believe that
Okay, I'm
God.
All right, I'm
Here-
done.
we believe that God is expressed through all nature.
Okay.
True religion is, and this is blurry, so that's why I'm having it. True religion is living in obedience to nature's laws. We never lie. We never die. Spiritualism
Okay.
proves that we can talk with people in the spirit world.
Okay.
Be kind, do good, and others will do likewise.
Okay.
And
So far, so good.
man, it's really hard. I gotta see if I can find. It's really blurry.
That first one is big.
That
But-
first one's a big one.
But if it's like God is nature, then less so, right?
it's kind of vague. So this sounds like
Yeah.
they're inviting all types.
Then this we bring unhappiness to ourselves by the errors we make, and we will make happy if we obey the laws of life. Every day is a
starting to
new
lose me
beginning.
now.
Okay, yeah, every day is a new beginning, and then prophecy and healing are expressions of God. That's what it is. So
All right. Well, see, I don't think I could retire there, but I would like to visit as curiosity definitely has me wanting to visit.
and it's like the oldest like spiritualist community, and like everyone is so like it, like, I was walking through being like, this is like the practical magic version of like psychics here.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like little old ladies dressed in like very nice, like a long sweater and a long skirt, gardening.
And see, that's what I'm saying, because I see myself as a modern seer. It's why I don't quite fit. I know a lot of people like that, obviously, and that's fine and that's great. It's just not, I don't fit with that group that way.
They're all gonna
Right.
die,
But
though.
I definitely like, I have friends I know a reader who goes there every year. That's like a trip she does.
My point
Yeah.
is, they're all pretty old, and so it could be a whole new generation coming in.
Oh,
But it is a very small. It's cute, but also it's in a part of upstate New York where you're like, wow, there's a lot of Confederate flags in the next town over.
Oh man.
So-
it's
Yeah,
a
that's
little
tough.
too. Yeah, it's a little too.
But beautiful, beautiful there.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, that's cool.
Before we get too far into it, tell us about your book, Peering into the Narrow Room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I have a thing that I say. I have a thing I say, and I always say it at the end of the YouTube videos: follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice. So I didn't really love the idea of writing a book that tells people what to do. So I wanted to do something as a guide, which, and I wanted to kind of give it a guide of like all the things people ask me, right? About psychic stuff, intuitive stuff, medium stuff, and protection and all the questions people ask, demons, this, and that. So I just covered, it's very simple, it's very easy to read, and it's very like open-ended, meaning like, this is what I've learned, this is what I've come to understand.
Yeah.
Take what you will, toss what you don't want, and make it your own. And that's kind of what I wanted to put out there for people. I know I tend to be very obtuse in that way, like, hey, listen, follow yourself. And people are like, but we really do want some.
But I'm coming to you to tell me what to do.
I'm like, I'll read you, but on your spiritual journey, I really believe it's unique to each person just as much as our thumbprint is uniquely us, our spirit is uniquely us. So I don't like to say this is what it is for sure, and you can't do anything else. It's like, this is what I've come to understand, and what resonates with you. If it helps, great, and if you don't resonate with it, that's fine. And that's kind of the context of the book. But I definitely say this is what I've come to understand. But I do repeat a lot, like, listen, do what you will, make it your own, basically.
Yeah.
I love that because I feel like so many people, especially now that witch talk is so popular, they have all these.
Yeah. Everybody's a witch.
Everybody's a witch.
And I've talked about it so many times on this podcast, but all these specific things that you have to do it this way. And I'm like, I don't know that that's right. I think it's like anything else in life, that what works for you. And especially if you believe that it works for you, that's what's going to be the most magical for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because I was late to the TikTok game, but I started posting on there, and I was surprised at how many people were like, thank you, because I kind of was like, listen, there's a lot of misinformation. There's just so much misinformation and a lot of ego. So kind of breaking it down to remind people that this is what it's really about. One, you have to put energy into it, your own effort into it. You can't just follow something like a recipe. And you do have to make it your own. And that's completely what it's about. Like, you can't follow someone else's recipe. If it I like makeup. I've followed makeup people, and I'm like, I don't know that looks cool, but I don't know what the hell they're doing. I can't do it. I'm going to cheat and do it this way, but it's not really cheating. It's just like, it doesn't work for me. Like, all these things they're saying, it's just too much. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm too lazy about it. Yeah.
It's
It
not,
doesn't work for me.
it's
Yeah.
like,
It
it's
doesn't
not,
mean you have to do it if you have this eye or whatever, right?
maybe
Right.
a bad analogy could be like, it's not baking, it's making a stew. And you can make a stew a lot of different ways, but baking is more precise.
A
and
precise science.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, that's very true. And to your point, I always say to people, it's like, take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that. That's what I've done, and put it in your cauldron and make it your own.
Yeah.
And that's the best. That's really how the magic will happen. It won't happen if you're just doing it from your head and following a rule.
Right.
And I knew a really, really, I've known a lot of witches, and I don't give myself the title witch, but I'm definitely witchy, and I do a lot of witchy things. I make my own candles, I have an altar and things like this. But she was like a high priestess witch, and she was like the real deal. I saw her do things. I was like, okay, I'm not quite sure how she did that, but that's interesting.
Cool.
And I used to get candles from her, and she was like old school, very like, just like tough. And she said, why are you getting these candles from me? I'm like, because you're supposed to do the candles and these like weird moon things and stuff. And she's like, who cares about that? You have it in you. You know what to do. Just listen to it. Here's the candle. Go do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's like, just do it yourself. You know what, you know what to listen to. Don't worry about all that stuff.
I love it because everything else makes it seem so prohibitive if you don't have the
right.
Like you should.
Yes.
There's no. I feel like this about so many things in life. Like, why are we telling ourselves we can't do something right now because we don't have this, and this, or it's not the right time? Like, it's what we make of it, right? So, like, who's like, I don't know, like even like all the moon phase stuff. It's like maybe, and if that works for you,
I mean, like people get really upset because I'm not really that into the moon. I'm more into the sun, and people will come to me, and I'll have other readers who are like, "Oh, you must be feeling stuff," and I'm like, "Is there something?" They're like, it's the dark moon. And I'm like,
There's
it is.
always a moon
And they get really
happening.
upset because they're like, oh, you don't feel things more or see more spirits. I'm like, not really. It's the same as always. And if that resonates with you, if you feel like a charge and you get excited and it does something, that's wonderful. But I don't have to do that. I don't even know when. I just get surprised. Oh, it's a full moon. I don't do things based on that. It just doesn't resonate with me. The sun resonates with me more. So
we're
that's
creatures of the sun.
Yeah, I like the sun.
And the moon's
fun.
The moon's merely reflecting it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Roasted.
Got you, bitch.
You know what?
Got you,
Fuck the
bitch.
moon, man. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is that little
you
empty
moon, you
ball
heard
of sand gonna do something about it?
That's true. Good point. I like it.
It is just like a good all around life lesson too of like, what do you feel? Do that. Don't worry. Oh, that's so nice. And I bet a lot of people are blown away to hear that.
It's probably very
Yes.
hard for them to hear
I
it
get.
too.
Yes.
I always call it. It's not like the sexy sell. Like the sexy sell's like, listen, I have the formula for it. You're gonna like turn around 3 times. You're gonna like dance in the moonlight, and you're gonna do this. And tomorrow, all the magic will come. That's like a sexier sell than like, listen, I'm trying to show you how to tune in because the answers have been born inside of you. You just forgot.
Wow.
So start
yes.
paying attention to who you are, how you tick, and you'll get to it. And I'm just doing these things to help you see that. And people are like, so it's a less invitive, but the right people tend to find me who get that. And then it's not always popular amongst other practitioners and readers. They don't always love what I have to say.
You're messing with their bag.
Yeah, they're sexy selves.
They're
Come
sexy.
on.
So.
I feel like as a creative, that's really nice to be reminded of that. Like there doesn't have to be like the perfect set of circumstances, structure, the thing that
Right.
you don't know that you're going to do it wrong. Like sometimes you just got to go for it. And
Yeah, the magic is you. Like when I read people, and it's LA, so I read a lot of creative type people, I feel like when I see that the person is being truly in who they are, that's all I'm trying to do, is to remind people to be comfortable in their own skin. People can sense that. They can feel it. They're like, oh, I feel you. Then when people
Yeah.
get aware of themselves and they start acting on like, oh, everyone likes this. This is how I'm supposed to be. It loses. If you notice, like, we're in the entertainment world. I'll notice like someone who rises. I'm like, they're starting to get lost and forget. This is why people love them. It was just natural, just kind of oozed out of them. Now you can see they're being so self-aware. They're losing the magic, because the magic is
Whoa.
really just comes through you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that.
That's my favorite part about reading people, is I kind of jump into your way of looking at the world, and it's uniquely different to each
Yeah.
person. And I kind of try to go like, you don't see how cool that is. Like, you think it's something, like, oh, everybody. I go, no, not everybody's looking at things the same. And this is what we can't all do everything. We all are here I see it like we're on a big campground. And this guy's like, listen, I cook well, so I'm just gonna do the cooking. And this person's like, but I'll bring entertainment to you guys. And this other person's like, I know how to
Yes.
build things really well. We're all just kind of servicing each other and doing stuff. So if you stay true to who you are, I know it's a longer road sometimes, but people tend to pick up on it and they feel it. And I feel like the internet is this web of how I see the other realm, where everybody kind of feels and sees each other. It's a barbaric version of how that world works.
Yeah.
Everybody now has a voice and everybody has kind of an opinion and something. But if you notice, people do get on the same wave.
Yeah.
Like, you'll go, oh, the internet all decided like this person is not being authentic.
Yeah.
Everybody senses it, right?
Right.
Now, once about maybe 15 years ago, a psychic said to me, look, not everyone's going to like you. You're not everyone's cup of tea. Specifically me, you are polarizing. But the people who like you are going to love you. And you just can't worry about the people who don't. And I was like, tough to hear. It does feel accurate, though.
Absolutely. I came to like, you got people like think what I do is like cool and stuff, but we're still fringe. I'm still the fringe person. I'm still the weirdo. I've seen people get at award shows that I've read for that I know they're not going to tell the world, or lawyers or judges or scientists, but I said, not everybody's going to like me. And a lot of people still tell me I'm going to burn in hell all the time on my YouTube and stuff, or get stoned to death. I get all kinds of things, but I am going to make people respect me. So I
Yes.
say, like, make people respect you. They can respectfully decline, and they can
Right.
respectfully not like you.
And respectfully
You
disagree.
can't be liked. Yeah, you don't have to worry about being liked. You're not going to be. And do people really like people, or are they just liking what they're seeing in themselves and you? That's usually how it is.
Oh
Absolutely.
shit! It's really I say this every time we talk about tarot or readings or anything like that, where it is like it's a big, for me,
Yeah.
a big just other form of therapy, of having to look at yourself
Yeah.
and be like, oh, what does this mean to me? Okay, what am I going to take away from this? And that
Correct.
idea of just like, hey man, who cares? You just got to work on yourself. That's such a
Yes.
big therapy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it is that. I mean, the part that I can see times and dates is still like your choice, because it is
Yeah.
still like a choice. So if I say to someone, I see if you take this job, or in 2 months this is going to happen, or 3 months, you could be like, screw Adela, I don't care what she says, and you'll do something else, because the time in the future shifts according to the decisions you make.
Right.
So all I'm doing is like, hey, you asked me about this and this is what I see, but you might need to work on why you don't, like, you're like saying no to it. Like, let's say it's an opportunity. Like, I had someone's like, I get all these opportunities, but I get scared, right? Because
Okay.
it's almost like pressure.
Yeah.
So I self-sabotage. So I can say, listen, I can see this is going to do well, but you're going to have to work on why you're sabotaging it. That's the therapy part.
Yes.
But there is the time and dates and things that we can at least I can see, that I try to guide people. I see myself as like in the middle of a road going like, hey, you might want to go left because right is a little wonky. It's not like all doom and gloom, but it just, you might have an extra few bad scenarios that make it a little more annoying. So let's just avoid the annoying.
Yeah.
People are like, I don't care. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll reconvene.
Yeah. You come back after you went through that wonky road and we'll see.
Now, we've talked about this before, Betsy, that sometimes when people go see seers or intuitives, psychics, mediums, they like want the person reading them. They want to give no information because they want to see if they, like, it's like a test, like, oh, do you really know? And I've always kind of made the analogy of like, would you go to a doctor and do that? Or would you tell them like, oh, yes, that is where it hurts, like, oh, that does, so is that like a thing that like, does that ever happen to you? And how does it feel? Or what do you do whenever people are like, I don't know, maybe?
Well, here's the thing. In the beginning years, you kind of go through like anything else. You have to kind of earn your stripes and kind of show people what you are and what you can do. Then after 19 years, you do not. So I have a reputation at this point. And if people come to me, and I've had people test me for sure, they'll say, I'm going to test you. And I just say, I'm not going to be tested. What do you want? If you tell me something, I'm going to see beyond what you're telling me. I think that's the key. It's not to say there isn't scams, and I know all of them, where people get you talking and you don't even realize it and you drop things. They're like, oh, I like that dress. You're like, oh, I got it at, Nordstrom's. And they're like, oh, great, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, you know what? I feel like, and I've seen readers do this, see where, oh, where do you live? Stuff. And then it kind of drops into the reading and the person doesn't realize it. So there are tricks that people do. But if I'm forthright and I say like, listen, tell me what you want me to look at. I used to be very big on like, all those things because you do have to hone your abilities. Yeah. And I said, tell me what you do because I know I'm going to see past what you're telling me. So if you tell me you want to know what job, I'm going to remote view and see past all of that. So it doesn't matter if you tell me. Now, if someone starts testing me, I will say, I could tell you're trying to test me and you don't need to do this reading or let me read you and go along for the ride and then just decide what you think later. You don't have, I'm not going to be tested. And I've had people go, well, no, but I heard you're the best. And I go, well, then let me read you.
Yeah.
And then they'll stop. But most of the time people are doing it because they're actually testing how confident are you? Because a reader who isn't will say, well, I read skeptics. I love reading skeptics. I love reading people who are closed. I don't have any of that problem. I'm going to unmask you anyway. It doesn't bother me at all. But if you're just purposely thinking you're being clever, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do it anyway. Then I don't want to rip you to pieces and say, well, let me tell you what happened when you're 4. Do you want me to?
No.
Because that's just kind of rude and ego-based.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go there.
This is
I don't want to be that way.
To all of our listeners, just be open to it.
Well,
just go along for the ride and see what you think. Yeah.
For years, I never went to anything like this when I was kind of like, what? But I was like, they should know everything about me as soon as I walk in. Like, that's what they got to prove. Once again, I didn't ever go in, and then I started chilling out and being like, yeah, why not? Who cares? But I absolutely had that mentality of just like... I
think some of it is true in a sense that you're right. You don't want to... You can feel if someone's like playing you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I am probably harder on readers than anybody. Like I've gone to readers where I just stare at them and have intimidated them. And then I feel kind of bad. And, because I'm trying to see what they're going to do. Right.
Right.
But I feel like that's different. If you're skeptical, you should be skeptical of the person. But if you really want to be into seeing. At least
Right.
kind of go along for the experience, but definitely keep your awareness up. And you definitely, I always say this, everyone, get confirmations, because even if you tell me something, like I said, I'm
Wow.
going to tell you something that you're like, how did you know that? Someone
Yes.
has to give you confirmation. So they can't just be so general, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know the difference. You could be like, oh, that was cool. That was nice, but I didn't really get
Totally.
anything like concrete from it.
Yeah.
So there's a range of type of situations, but I usually can tell when I had someone do this to me recently. I said, you don't have to get this reading. He's like, oh, I can. And then when I told him stuff, I could tell he was
Yep.
surprised, but then
Yep.
he was like still being like whatever. And I go, well, this will happen in like 2 months. He's like, we'll see. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks. Bye. And he's just surprised that I'm not like, I don't care if he likes
The-
me or not.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just do what I do, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just more, he's the one who's kind of, torturing himself, thinking I'm upset about it, like trying to prove a point, which I caught him like.
Right.
So I feel like I don't want to say to people, don't be careful, because you definitely should be careful.
Right.
Yeah.
One time my partner, he was like, I was like, why do people always like get like this? And he's like, because you're in a world for a lot of scammers. And it's true.
Yeah.
It is just true. It's just a fact. Like if you're one person like, hey, listen, I really have tried, you're like in a sea of kind of a lot of bad stuff out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I remember when we've talked before, I like made you tell me scary stories, but like I bet because that's what I'm always gonna do, and I won't
I
make
can
you do
tell you
it.
scary stories.
I was like, I was hesitant to be like, I don't want to make you do it because I remember like last time I was like, I don't want to like dredge up anything that then like makes you have nightmares and weird stuff again, because I remember that's what happened last time.
Mercy.
It wasn't my
Come
fault. I just
on.
I
asked.
did. I had nightmares.
You told me that like after you talked about this, you started having dreams
Oh,
about it.
I know what you're talking
And
about.
I won't
Yeah,
make you talk about that if you don't want
I've talked
to.
about that several times since then. Yeah, that's fine now. That
Okay.
was probably new because I hadn't talked about it. I think that was between me and you. I told that
But
story. Yeah.
we did it on the podcast though, on your old podcast.
On my podcast, yeah,
Yes.
which was a lot smaller, and I was like, it's okay, I'll do
Yeah.
it. But since then, I've told the stories even on my YouTube, but way back a long time ago, like an old video. I think I told it. But I'm okay with it now.
Well, if you want to, you can. I can also edit all this out. But like Betsy, it's a fucked up story.
What?
Okay, I'll
We
tell
gotta
it.
hear it.
Yeah,
Because
and it's funny. I had these producers. Are they the Duffer Brothers? I forget what their name is. They had me they filmed me telling the story. They were going to maybe use it for something. I think after that, I was like, I'm over it now.
yeah.
So I had asked you, like, do you believe in demons and stuff? And you had said, like, at one point in time, you were like, not. You were like, I believe in like love and light kind of thing.
Yes. When I first started reading, I was like, a lot of newbie people. You're like, oh, the balls of, love and light and all this type of stuff. And when I even was doing medium readings, I was, just talking to people who died. What I didn't realize at the time is that if you're walking around different neighborhoods and states and cities, which is the other realm, you have to know every aspect of it and understand how it all works, because they don't like it if you are not respecting them.
And you're on their turf. You're on their
You're
turf
on their
now.
turf. You're going into their realm, right?
Okay.
So I was reading at this place, and they called me down. They're like, you have a reading. I come down, and this guy is like paralyzed on one side. Like his face looks like he can't move it on one side, and he's dragging his foot and dragging his arms like dead. And he's drooling like pus. And
Pus?
nobody's like, hey, Adela, this could
Just a
may not
heads
be a good
up.
idea for you to go upstairs, close your office door, because we had our little offices. And I was like, hi. And they were like, he specifically asked for a medium. And I was like, awesome. Okay. So I take him upstairs. And at this point, I have done medium galleries, I've done seances and readings and all this. So I'm thinking I pretty know what I'm doing, right? This is why that realm will check your ego always. So I bring him in, and I remember he sat down, and as soon as the door closed, it was like a scene out of a movie. I'm watching the door close, and I'm like, am I gonna fucking get out? Can I say that on here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything.
you can say,
I'm like,
oh yeah,
okay,
you can say
okay.
whatever you want.
I was like, am I gonna fucking get out of here? It was like that. I just watched the door close, and I looked at him, and he's in the chair slumped, and his head's down, and his eyes are up like this, and he's like drifting down, and his eyes are going up, and he just out. I could tell he was like not there.
What?
And I was like, okay. I said, and I just, I had in my room, I had, I read there so much that it was like my room. So all my stuff stayed. I had like crystals, and I had like incense I was burning. And I always call in Saint Michael as a protection. It's like, I believe it's like an energy, not literally like this Catholic version of protection. And I could feel it, and I could hear something go like, don't try to take it out. Like, and I said to him,
Chills
you
again.
have something in you, right? And he goes, yes, that's why I asked for a medium. Can you get it out of me? I was like, holy fuck. And I just felt something say to me, like, do not try to do this. And I heard it, and I could see what it was. And it said, I dare you. Try it. Try it.
Shit.
And I was like, well, I don't think so. I said, no. I said, let's talk about how it got there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I start telling him what I saw when he was a kid and what happened to him as a kid. And he like comes out of trance for like a minute, and he's like, yeah. I said, there was abuse, and there was some things going on in your family. He said, yeah, they were into like, I guess, witchcraft type of stuff, and they would do stuff around me, and I was abused. And then he like snapped back, and he's like, his eyes go up again, and again that he drops his head, and he's like, why are you talking about this? Like, just get it out of me. Are you going to do it? And I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. So I could feel it coming closer. It's hard to explain because it's not like in the movies where things are flying around or anything like this. It's like when you can see things telepathically, it's kind of more like aliens are in the movies where they talk to you telepathically and get in your head. And I could see it felt like it had tentacles, and I could feel it like coming towards me. And I could feel it. I could feel it. And I was like, time to go. I got to get out of here. Yeah. I said, I'm going to take you to someone. Now, I will say this is kind of the comical part. There was a guy at this place who really thought he was fancying himself and culture appropriating shamanism. And he was like, I'm a shaman. I was like, oh, okay, Mr. Shaman Boy, I have a case for you. Here you go. And he was like, oh yeah, I can. I was like, okay. I don't know if you realize this is like this guy's, it's the real deal. Like this is like, I never seen anything at this point. I've been reading professionally for 13 years, and I haven't seen anything like this before. And he was pretty confident until he came out, and he brought him downstairs. And I never seen this because people I worked with were all old, like readers and witches, like old school, and they were freaking out. And they were cleansing each other, and they grabbed me because I could feel like I felt like I couldn't move, and they were cleansing me, and they were cleansing the guy who claimed he could get it out. And I said, did you talk to him? And he goes, he couldn't talk. I go, what do you mean he couldn't talk? He goes, he couldn't talk. I go, he talked to me. He goes, he couldn't talk. I couldn't get him to speak. What I figured out is that the thing kind of released him to talk to me because I was talking to it, and he doesn't know how to do that. So he was just doing typical like the oils and all this stupid stuff that was not working, obviously. And they literally were like, here's some stuff, bye, and like pushed them out. And the whole place just went crazy, cleansing, freaking out. Everyone was freaking out. And and it sat with me for like a week. I could feel it talking to me and like taunting. But what it really was like, you better respect what's out there. Like, if you're going to be doing all this stuff, know there's another side and respect it.
Whoa.
And so what I learned since then, I've done cleansings, and I've maybe a couple other times I did a cleansing of a place. I won't name the place here in LA that had some pretty crazy, like, probably since then, this was like the hardest thing I've done.
It was UCB Sunset.
Yeah, very scary.
Definitely was on Sunset. It was definitely in Hollywood, but it was not a place people would think. And I had to clean it, and it sat with me for some time too. But this time I knew what to do. Matter of fact, the person I was doing it for, I had to kick them out because they just froze. And they were so freaked out, and I was like, get out. And I had to face it on my own and get rid of it. It was a lot of crazy stuff happening at this place. So yeah, so it's very rare, just to let everybody know, demons and stuff are so rare that in my going on 20 years now, I would say 2 or 3 times I've encountered it. And this gentleman was one of them. Unfortunately, he never came back. We have no idea what happened. I have an idea. He just looked terrible. Nobody could really help him. And the other thing is, I couldn't help him because he didn't want to talk about how it got there.
Yeah.
And so he was allowing it to stay.
Betsy, that's
that's
the therapy
holy shit.
part. That's
Right.
That's the therapy part.
That's
You
the
gotta
therapy
slow
part.
down and say why.
It's the
Why
therapy
am
part,
I feeling
and it's
this?
maybe part of you likes, sometimes people like this darker thing in them. And
it's
what
powerful.
yeah, because it's like a power.
Yeah.
But they don't realize they're being puppeteered, and that's the thing. People don't realize they're being puppeteered. They think they have power with it. Like, I have people think it's like, oh, wow, I'll work with one of them. Like, oh, yeah, good luck with that.
No,
Because
you
they will
won't.
use you and spit you out. Oh, yeah, there's people who think it's cool and they're going to work with it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right, well, good luck with that. So what I learned was respect the power, and
Yeah.
then you also have to stand strong in your addressing it. So when I did this the second time, that time I told you about recently, I was like, you're going to listen to me. The respect thing I was telling you about, like, I know you don't like me, but you're definitely going to respect me, and and this isn't going to be okay anymore. And you have to come from that place. If you don't, then if you come from like treating them like they're magical or fearful, or it's just not going to work. But yeah, that was the first time of like, and something happened after that. And I was like, okay, I'm getting the message here. You can't just live in your little bubble of light. You have to, if you're going to talk to the dead, there's another part of that world that you have to be aware of. So I've had a lot of crazy things.
It's chilling.
Yes.
Chilling,
That's
though.
so, it's like, oh, that's so spooky. That's so, and it is that thing of like, oh yeah, you gotta realize there's a lot of different sides to this thing. Like, which
Right.
it's so easy to be like, nah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that part. Like, they think they do, or like I always say at Halloween, I'm not as popular as like a tarot card reader, because what I do is like real, and people just want the ride version. They don't want the real version.
Oh yeah.
So, like, oh, you really want to see some stuff? And they're like, no, never mind. I'd just rather go to some guy in a suit, like pretending.
Yes, just in a funny outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
A fog machine. That's what we want at
right.
Halloween time.
Yeah, I would say like other than that, like those experiences with like demonic or whatever, like have you felt like, oh, I'm in a scary situation other times, like just with like, I don't know, like either the people that are asking you to come around or the things that you're having to deal with, the people past? Like, is that a, or are we like pretty much?
Oh, yeah. There's sometimes people who are like angry or a little bit aggressive. And there was another time I filmed something at Heritage Museum and they wanted me to see what was in this house. And it was a few of us. And of course, I knew this was going to happen. The other two were like, I want this house and this house. And they were like cute little kids, Victorian kids who used to live there, or whatever.
Honestly,
and I was like,
that's scary, man.
Yeah.
Get those nasty kids out of here.
That's probably true, right?
Ew, yeah, that's
To me,
bad.
I'm like, oh, they're just cute little kids. But, dead kids, And then there's this other house that I was like, that's probably going to be me, because someone died. Someone got murdered there. I could tell. So when I went into the house, they did a thing. They were filming it to be like the testing thing of, they got a tour beforehand. They filmed that. And then they asked me what I saw. And I was like, as soon as I came in, I saw this little man and he was like, come in here. And I was like, nope. Okay, here we go. Of course, I got this house. Of course it's me. And they're setting up lights, and I'm going to the production crew. You don't feel anything? They're like, well, now what are you talking about? And I'm just like, what is that like? You just don't feel anything? I just didn't get it. And I look around, and I look to the bathtub, and I could see this woman getting killed in the bathtub. And so sure enough, when they asked me what I saw, they looked at each other, and then they reveal afterwards, well, this is exactly what the tour guide said, that someone died in this bathtub, or people are creeped out over here. And I named the places that I could see stuff. Wow. I felt a little bit like there's lots of times like that where I feel uncomfortable because the people around me are not like aware, and they don't know how to protect. That's the problem with people who want to do things for fun. They don't know about that sort of stuff. And I wasn't there to cleanse the space, to get rid of it. They just wanted me to see. So I had to like just be in it. So I don't like that sort of thing. Or I went one time ghost hunting with people who wanted me to see. I remote viewed the place, and I was right. I was like, oh, there's a railroad track, and there's this at your back door. And the people were very skeptical. So over the phone, they were like, yes, she can come. So when I got there was a railroad track in front of their house, and the door that I saw going out to the backyard. And in that time, I didn't feel too great because I was the only one knowing what I was doing. And the rest of people were just like filming and like going,
of course,
saying stuff that was kind of feeding it, like, blah, blah. And and I start to go like, hey, listen, there's really some things here. Like you need to, like, you can mess with those people, but you're not going to mess with me. Like I was really trying to be protective. I feel like other than that, there are times like people who are alive that you read for who, can be sketchy at times.
Yeah, of course.
And I've learned that lesson of making sure. But I think mostly because I'm so strict about things and I don't let things mess with me, I think mostly it's probably me alone that have had these experiences, like dreams and things that happen to me at night.
Oh,
Stuff like that. I've had some really trippy things happen in that way.
Do you like, are those attachments, or like, does that, I've heard that from ghost hunting shows.
I know you did.
Like, is that what you consider, or is it just kind of like
yeah, I don't believe in attachments because spirits aren't trying to attach, but they like, if you're looking at that world, they know me, and and sometimes they're trying to break my boundaries. One time I do a lot of things sometimes, like if I'm drifting off to sleep, it's the one area I can't block is at night, so I don't sleep through the night ever. I have very weird sleep patterns. I sleep from like 11 to 1, then I get up, and then I go back to sleep to like 3, then I get up, then I go back to sleep like to 5. And when people have seen me in a dream wake state, and one time my partner, and all of a sudden it's gonna sound creepy, but I saw this woman like come through the door, you know, in my dream, and I knew she was breaking my like warding boundaries. And I was like, get out of here, like this. But I said it out loud. I was like, you better leave us. I'm gonna, like, this kind of tone. And he's like, get up.
Oh.
Because it's like creepy. I'm sure I'm like asleep talking like this. But I could tell she was dangerous or something.
Yeah.
But I think like doing stuff, it's always going to be, I don't want to say a risk, but you're always stepping into something.
It's always a part of it,
It's always a part of it. I'm putting boundaries and guardians and guards up and protection like every day, all day.
No.
So I can't say that it's like I'm never not thinking that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You know, this is just ripping off the podcast Spooked, but I believe it was Spooked where a woman was telling her story that her husband like had always had sleep paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
And one night she woke up and there was a woman like on like on him like and like she could tell like she was like, you know, doing something to her husband, and she like the woman like looked at her and the woman got right in her face. The woman got right into the ghost's face and said, "He's mine."
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And then he stopped having this happen to him.
Yeah, sleep paralysis is sometimes, it's really not as bad as people think, but sleep paralysis, when your spirits, you meet that realm halfway. So you're going out to meet that realm halfway. And as soon as you kind of realize you're drifting out, you freak out. And I used to get it every day, all day as a kid, every night practically.
Whoa.
So, and up until like probably 10 years ago. And I learned how to like go, oh, okay, if I control it. And then there's spirits that are like, hey, I'll help you pull you out so you can hang and talk to us. So they're not like people think they're trying to smother you. They're actually trying to pull you out. What? And I know this because of like things that have happened that I've seen to myself that helped me figure out how to master it better. And so sleep paralysis is you kind of like realizing what's going on, and then you freak out. And then, you're not conscious, but you're like, you kind of wake up in the middle. The reason why that world speaks to you at night is because your brain stops fighting it and your spirit opens up to it. It has nothing to do with spookiness. It's just you guys shut up and finally listen to them. Yeah. They're always talking. They're always in this realm.
Spooky. That's spooky.
Yeah,
that's spooky.
It is spooky, but
it's too spooky.
They're just trying to be a friend. Hang out.
They just want to hang out and play with you. They
come on, Betsy, come
no,
play.
No,
have a beer. You can't have beers anymore.
I don't need that. No.
Like, no, not at night.
I don't need that at all. Wow.
Now, how do you feel about just a lay person using Ouija boards? Because we feel like no.
Too scary.
I think Ouija boards is definitely not a good idea for people who don't know what they're doing, because what you're basically, I always compare it to like the internet. If you're using a Ouija board, you're unblocking everybody online and saying, go ahead and just come talk to me. So the reason why I have all these boundaries is not so much the creepy crawly idea. It's like, I've blocked all of you and I'm only allowing this at this time. So that's why when I'm doing readings, I'm like, all of you, I know you guys know I'm reading, but we're only talking to Joe over here, right? So when you have a Ouija board, you're like anybody's game. And I call them bad boys and girls. They like messing with people because they see us like children. Just like we think it's funny when kids get scared over something silly like puppets or something.
Yeah.
Well, when I've had to cleanse places, they're like, all I did was open the door. And I'm like, but do you remember when you were alive and the door just went open? It was scary. And they're like, yeah, I guess so. And I'm like, you need to stop. That's enough.
This just made me think about maybe using a Ouija board is like when I was 12 years old and got AOL and we're like, or not even 12, I think I was like 14 years old.
Chat room?
Yeah. And being like, it was like, well, you might be talking to a bunch of fucking creeps now.
Right.
Like,
that's exactly.
Big time.
There you go. That's
you got that AOL disc?
Yeah. ASL, age, sex, location.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what it's like. And the people who are kind of know what they're doing, they bound Ouija boards, they shut the gates down, they shut everything down, and they go,
Yeah.
okay, we're only using
And we're
it this way.
done now.
Right. They know how to
Okay.
cleanse it, they know how to, what they call bound it, tie it up, make sure it's only being used for a particular way and all that. But people are like, woohoo, I just got a Ouija. Yeah, you're just basically going on AOL going,
Yeah.
everybody talk to me. Yeah.
Also, like what if, I don't know, like you always hear like you don't close it properly and then things come around your house. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, well, what if something gets around and then it's like playing with all your stuff? And like, because I always tell friends, like, I've had a friend be like, oh, should we play with a Ouija board? I was like, in your home, in your private home, you don't want that. No.
Well, the thing
No.
is that what happens is it's not that you aren't, it's basically the same as opening. So I always look at it like when I do seances are different than when I do medium galleries, which is medium galleries. It's like a medium group where I read for a bunch of people in a group and I read for each person. But a seance, I'm like, hey, everybody who's connected to this group, whoever died is allowed to talk. So you're doing that. But I have windows on there, curtains on there. I have passwords. Like it's just, you can't just, I'm not just opening the door and going, everybody in the block.
Yes.
Do some sneak in, yes, and I'm like, you're not attached to anyone here. You're not connected or relate. There's no connection to you. You got to go. So when those things start happening around your house, sometimes they're like, hey, you said you were good to talk to us, so we know you can see stuff. We know you can feel stuff. So you ready? And then you're like, oh no, I didn't mean for all that. And then if you're using a Ouija board and you don't know what you're doing, then you're basically unlocking your door, flinging it open, and then you're letting everybody in. And then you're like, hey, there's this guy in my bathroom. I don't know where he came from, right?
Just
So they're
pizza
not
waiting.
like, yeah,
Come on in, get your
Right.
pizza.
have fun, have a good time. So they're not attached to the place. It's you. You're
Yeah.
the one that's being willing to talk to them. And then you set a little Wi-Fi up and they're like, oh, over there, everybody says they want to talk to us.
Here's more. Here's more. Yes.
Now, as someone who also has been on Witch Talk, one of the things I've seen on Witch Talk is do not put a welcome mat on. Like if you have a mat that says welcome or come on in, they're like, don't do that. Things will come in your house.
To your
Yeah.
house?
No, you don't buy it. You don't buy it.
No, it's ridiculous. That's just it's basically saying, if you log on to the internet, that's it. All bad things will happen to you I mean, it's just not really true. A welcome mat. I mean, my welcome mat does have an all-seeing eye on it, so that does maybe tell you how, but I also like to have like peace signs everywhere too. So I mean, I'm saying like you're just putting good energy. However, if you cleanse your thresholds is a thing, like thresholds like windows and doors and stuff. I do have things like, protective devices around those thresholds, but it's kind of like a little out, really reaching to say that you're inviting spirits with
I feel like you're allowed to have all of the, like, I feel you're like, have everything covered. Like, because you're dealing with this stuff all the time.
Yeah, I'm doing it because like I said, I'm walking around neighborhoods like going, hey, and they're like, who are you? And I'm like, listen, don't worry. I'm good. I have my passport. I get all the rules. I'm respecting you guys. Yeah, of course, I have to do those things. But I feel like when people are telling people, I think it's just, here's the number one rule. Don't compare that world to here. It is nothing like here at all.
That's good.
So when you keep acting like it's like here, you're always going to get tripped up and lost because you're trying to compare it to a very mundane and limited of time and space. There's no time. There's no space. There's no limit of time and space. You're not in a physical body. And that's why I compare it to the internet, because it's actually, the way I see it, is much more like a futuristic version. And when people are like, oh, they're going to attach themselves, I'm like, the spirit world's really not that interested in you. Like, I hate to tell you guys this, but there's so many other realms and dimensions and things to explore that They're not obsessed with you as much as you think they are. You're just
Yeah.
aware of them more.
Yeah, humans aren't the end all be all.
Yeah, exactly. There's
And it's such a
aliens.
human thought to be like, yes, we are. Everything cares about what we're doing.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I don't want to rip off the Bigfoot Collectors Club, but
Let's do it.
let's rip it
Let's
off.
rip them off. Who cares?
So we've talked about demons, or we've talked about but what do you think about other things like vampires, or not I don't know that blood vampires, but that there are
Like
things that are
cryptids and things like that.
or and aliens and stuff, obviously.
Well, yeah, aliens, I'm 100% on board. And I actually see them more as an interdimensional beings the ones I've experienced. I can only speak from my own personal experiences. And I've had a lot of weird things happen.
How do you know if it's an alien versus
a spirit?
A spirit, yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very different.
Okay.
Aliens are, one, they kind of let you know that they're not, a spirit.
Yeah.
And two, they're much more intense. Like people, just imagine someone's energy. You're like, yeah, it's kind of trippy, this person's energy, but another being from another place, way more intense energy. Just like people ask the same thing, people are into angels and stuff, which I kind of feel are probably aliens. It's a very intense energy.
Okay.
So, and I've had experiences that, they clearly make it known that they're not a person. And they kind of do tend to talk to people who do this because we talk telepathically and they know that and things like that. And, but yeah, I've had some trippy experiences. And I even, one time I had a trippy experience connected to aliens with a person. I got a lift ride, and at 4:30 in the morning in Utah, which was really
spooky.
You like Utah?
No, too spooky.
Oh, spooky.
All of this is so spooky.
So I was you know how you can order, this was years ago before the pandemic, and you could schedule a lift. And then I was because I was at 4:30 in the morning, I had to fly out. And the person just canceled on me out of nowhere. And then someone just picked it up. And I was like, how did that happen? So I get in the car, and there's a bag, a garment bag, which you don't see usually in lifts, because they're usually, especially here in California, I don't know how they are other places, but here they're very big on here's your water, blah, blah. And I was like, why is this person's garment bag just hanging? I felt like he wanted me to ask about it. So I could feel it. And he was driving real cool and calm. I felt really comfortable. And he goes, yeah, I'm on my way to the airport. And I go, well, what do you do? And he goes, I work at the airport and I look for things. I go, what do you mean you look for things? I work in security. I'm not thinking TSA, right? And I go, oh, okay. What do you mean? He goes, well, unusual things. I go, what was he talking about? And I go, well, what do you do? He goes, well, I'm an ex-Air Force. I retired. And I'm like, so he was kind of up there because he kind of mentioned it casually. Everything he said was very casual, very vague. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, I go, so what do you do? And he goes, well, I'm in the towers and things that are unusual. And I'm like, what the hell? I go, this is interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to go along with this. And he says, what do you do? And I go, well, it's very different than what you do. So I tell him, and I go, well, and I wanted to drop the term remote viewing on purpose since he was in the service so long. And he said, interesting. Tell me how you do that. What do you see? And then I asked him, I said, oh, have you ever seen any weird things? And he said, I said, I've seen this black triangle ship one time. I told him I saw this, and I told him my story. He goes, oh yeah, we make those. And I go, what? I would go, but it was hovering. He goes, yes, they do hover. And they can go very fast. Because I said, but it disappeared very fast. He goes, we make those. But I have seen some other things we don't make. And then he just didn't talk about it again.
Come
and then he asked me,
man.
I mean, he kind of was vague. And then he's like, well, what do you do? And I told him what I do in a remote view. And he goes, interesting. I'm really surprised the government hasn't approached you to work for them yet. And I went, okay. All right. But he would just say things like, he wasn't like kooky. He wasn't like, oh, the government is hiding things, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't like, if he was like that, I'd be like, okay, he's a conspiracy guy. He
Wow.
wasn't. It was just like if he said, hey, I'm surprised you don't bake, more often. It was like that type
Yeah.
of tone. I said, I'd be interested in that because I wanted to see what he was going to say. And he goes,
Yeah, exactly.
anyway, and he just drives along, gets to there, but it's very nice talking to you. I could
Chills.
talk to you for quite some time. Very interesting. Have a great flight. And he left. And I was like, what the hell was that? And I've had a lot of weird experiences with my phone. One time my iPad, my notepad just started clicking on things and moving on its own.
Ooh.
Like a lot of weird stuff. And it was about aliens. So do I believe in aliens? Yes,
Do you?
for sure.
That guy feels like he was kind of testing the waters.
I felt like that. But you know how you ever have experience in the moment, something's off, but and that's weird for me because I'm a reader of people. Anywhere I go, I'm reading people like, who's this guy? What is he about?
Yeah.
But for some reason, I felt like I was like
Nothing.
relaxed and like, hey, man, everything's cool, Felt really relaxed talking to him. And later I went, okay, that was weird. It's like he was testing me. Yeah, it was like later.
It felt like he was like still working for the government. And
Yeah,
they're
my
like,
friend's
okay,
like, Adela, you didn't question why an ex-Air Force retiree, like
Pick
high
you
up,
up.
is driving Lyft. And I go, I did not.
But-
and who keeps
really
being
dumb of me.
like, hey,
I will say I have had a lot of old retired Lyft drivers who like then tell me what they used to do, and you're like, oh, you were a doctor or whatever, but you literally can't not have a job. Like you
But
just
this
don't
guy
know how
had
to.
a job. He was
Right.
going to his job.
That's what is weird. It feels like that someone bumped your other Lyft to pick you up,
Yeah.
just to
the
like
government.
get a sense of like who did you think, oh, this is a government person, or were you like, was this a fucking alien?
I literally felt
be
like
an
he
alien.
felt government. I could tell though I can't say 100%. I could tell, right? But
Yeah.
I felt like he felt very professional and it felt very psychological. Because even with the
Yeah.
garment bag, it was almost like I felt like it was strategically placed. It wasn't like overdone. It wasn't underdone. It was
Yep.
just hanging there enough to make me notice it to go, what is that? You know what I mean? And it was just odd. And it just has bothered me. It has bothered me for a long time because he was so vague enough and general enough, but gave me a little bit of pieces that there was nothing to, to clasp onto.
Oh,
So and I remember going, and I've had people tell me, well, that is something they do. They'll look for people and kind of test you.
Test the waters.
I did forget to tell you, I was in Utah doing a paranormal convention. My cards were out and things.
There we go. And they send the government to be like, okay, let's see if we can get some people to work for
that
us.
makes
don't
sense.
know.
That
I
makes
don't
sense
know.
though. But they would be like,
I was reading at a paranormal convention and I had a booth and stuff. So, and people were getting my card and I don't know, who knows, but it was odd. And I've had a lot of
Yeah.
other weird experiences. As far as cryptids go, I'm open to believe that there's like another dimension that things can come through. For sure. I haven't seen anything like that myself. I haven't been a witness to anything like that. But do I feel like it could be all one and the same? Pretty probably. I mean, I don't know if I believe everything people put out there, but I talk to the dead, so I can't really say. I can't really say like, well, that's crazy. Like I went to the psychic convention once, and this guy read, he did leprechaun readings, and he was like dressed like that, and I was like, well, maybe they exist, and I shouldn't judge this guy. Maybe he knows something I don't. Yeah. I mean, there is like an intuitive sense that I felt it was a little scammy. But yeah, I believe that there could be like, if you mean like that, like those types of things, like but aliens for sure. I'm a definite, like, I mean, I have like my little alien like stone that I, hold in my readings and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of a big believer in that.
Yeah.
You gotta be. It's just a fact
Gotta
of
be.
it's a fact of reality these
Yeah.
days.
It's just science.
We can't be it's kind of egotistical to be like, it's just us. We're
It's
we're
so
doing
bad.
such a great job.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think like that. I'm like, no way. We're just this universe is so big.
Right. Can't
No
be.
way.
No way.
I feel as if we could do like a 20-hour podcast with you.
Seriously.
But if you're up for it, do you mind if we play a listener story?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I love
my
hearing the listener
goodness.
stories.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to pull one up now.
Hi, Betsy and Marcy. My name is Mariah, and I'm from the Pacific Northwest. And I have some ghosty, ghoulies, spookies to share. Now, I've always believed in ghosts and maybe aliens. I guess I kind of believe in psychics. I just sent in a listener story where I talked about dreams that I've had that have come true or are weirdly kind of spooky-ish. So how can I say that I don't? Now, I've always believed that my mother's house was haunted, or maybe I am haunted. There was a time when I was a little kid, and I had really bad, childhood insomnia. Is it childhood insomnia if it lasts till adulthood? Whatever. I had insomnia, and so I used to sneak into the kitchen at night and make myself a snack from the time I was, really little. Now, I had this deep, guttural fear whenever I would sneak into the kitchen that the man in the black hat would see me again. I have no memory of ever seeing the man in the black hat before this moment. So I'm assuming I must have seen him before and don't remember it, because I was so afraid of seeing him again. And one day, I'm literally eating ice cream out of the tub. Can you imagine now? I'm a little chubster. I get this feeling I'm being watched. I think I've been caught. But I look over through the kitchen doorway into the dining room, and I see a humanoid, dark, shadowy figure, but very defined, of a man staring at me in a black hat. And the feeling was he was looking at me disapprovingly because I was sneaking food at night. And that was it. There was always weird things. People were afraid to sleep in my mom's house. They would say they would hear weird noises at night or feel like someone was talking near them, or the significant feeling was that someone was looking at you from 1 inch away from your face, but then no one was there. So it's pretty fair to say, over the years, I would have little weird experiences with my friends, or things would kind of move out of the corner of your eye. It was just a kind of freaky, weird feeling, despite the fact that my mom's house was built in the mid-'80s and was the most boring suburban ranch-style home in the most boring place you could ever imagine. Now, the biggest story that I can remember right now that happened in the house was my mom was out of town. She was in Las Vegas, and I was home alone for 3 days, and at the time, it was just me and the dog. The dog, Joey, was sleeping with me in the bed one night, and it was the middle of the night, and I woke up and had to pee. I remember this so vividly. I woke up, I had to pee, and I was petting the dog, saying to him, oh, but if I get out of the bed, doggy, then I'm gonna wake up, and then I'm gonna be awake all night. Just the bullshit things you do as a person. And as I'm laying there, baby talking to the dog, from right behind me, right behind my head, at my neck, I hear and feel like a big sigh. I felt the breath. It was neither hot or cold, just a rush. And my first thought is not, ooh, a ghost. It's, I'm being robbed. I'm going to be murdered. So I lay there. I'm holding tight onto the dog because I also don't want my dog to be murdered in front of me before I'm murdered. And I'm freaking out, and I'm laying there for minutes, wondering where my phone is, how I can call the police, but I don't hear anything else. Nothing else happens. It's just nighttime stillness. I get up, I walk around the house, I have a candlestick in one hand, like in a movie, and my phone with 911 ready to go in the other. I'm screaming, just take what you need and go, just take what you need and go. Nobody needs to get hurt. Again, like I'm in a movie. And of course, nobody's there. I've searched the whole house. I've searched under the beds. All the doors are still locked. Nothing has been moved. So then I start saying, whatever you are, get out of here. Why are you trying to scare me? I am home alone. Leave me alone. And I would love to say that whatever it was didn't do anything anymore, but at least the sighing on my neck stopped. Well, that's my story. Feel free to poop as you will. Bye.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Thoughts, comments,
The black-
concerns.
Ooh.
I mean, not a lot of concern to me, but the black shadows, it's just shadow people that people call shadow people, are really just, your sight not able to see them all the way, because people who see shadow people, I can see what they are, who they are. So I've been around people that see those, and I'm like, yeah, I can see what they are. And I also learned that it's just your sight, not they're a shadow, because your sight is only able to see that much of it. I'm sure he was not disapproving of or could care less about what she was eating. That's her own psychological, voice speaking to herself. They could care less about those things. But, a lot of times they show up, especially kids. It's very common because kids are more open to these things and aren't as talking. They haven't gotten as jaded to this mundane world as much, so they're a lot more open to seeing those things. The breath thing, that's a pretty common thing too. Like, it's not really breath; it's kind of energy.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're just a frequency. So that seems all on brand to me.
Whoa.
Now, with the shadow people thing, it's like there is this reoccurring theme that we hear so much of, specifically, like, there's a shadow man in a hat.
Yeah.
Like, that is what is
those.
up with the trope? Like, but it's like it is a huge trope that, like,
It is a huge trope. Yeah. I've seen those, and I've seen them cloaked as well, but the cloak ones are the watchers. Those are aliens. But
what?
So it's
I'm
really just hiding.
I've
hiding
always
themselves.
thought, I was like, I think shadow people aren't ghosts. That's what I've always thought.
Yeah, they're guardians. They're actually not bad. The ones with the hats, they're kind of guarding. Like, I know because I've seen them twice, like, fully. Once I had broke my foot and they put the cast on wrong, so I passed out. It turned out it was pushing on an artery, and I jumped out of my body, and I was standing in my apartment, and I saw two men like that with the hat and all the thing everyone's describing, and they were like guardians, and I was like, oh, I knew it'd be this easy. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
They put the cast on wrong?
They put the cast on wrong. Listen,
man.
you guys, anything that people say this never happens has happened to me. I swear to God, I'm one of those people.
I had to get surgery on my. I've told you this, Marcy. Maybe on this podcast, I had to get surgery on my right ankle.
Okay.
And as they were filling me up with drugs and stuff, a nurse came in and drew something on that right ankle, and I looked and it was an X, and I was like, so does the X mean this is the one you're gonna do surgery on? And they're like, no, that means we're not gonna do surgery on that one. I was like, because that's my broken ankle. And they had to look at the charts again and be like, okay, and clean it off. And I was like,
God, it's like a
and I was on my way to I was high as a kite. Just I giggled. I was like, that's funny. That's so funny. They almost messed up.
What's funny?
So funny.
Wow.
I told my dad that story right before he had his knee surgery.
Oh my God. You would, oh my God.
You gotta make sure.
And I told
you gotta make sure.
I told it in front of the nurse doing all the prep stuff. So I was like, just so you know.
You're like, I'm watching.
We're all
paying
watching
attention. Yeah, for sure. No, that same thing. Like, they put the cast on, and I kept telling everybody something was wrong, and no one listened to me. I was like, my foot keeps getting numb, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. This has happened to me my whole life. Like, yeah, that's fine, And then I pass out and I see those guys with the hat. And then I said, let's go. And I heard, not today. And I felt a hand grab my foot. And as it came back into my body and said, call someone to take you to the ER.
Whoa.
Went to the ER, took it off. They're like, good thing you came. There was a pushing on an artery. I was like, really? Yeah. So
Oh my
You were just like,
God.
all right, let's go. We're done.
Yeah,
I was
okay,
like,
I did it. I had
I was
fun.
like, yeah, let's go, because it happened to me another time before and I couldn't see as well. This was like about 10 years earlier. So this time I jumped out quick, saw them, and I said, oh yeah, the hat. Okay, I know what it is. They're shadowing themselves. They don't want, they're like guardians. They're actually not bad.
Okay.
They're protectors. But see, just like children, people get scared of things they don't understand.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, there's a shadow. It's just like a kid. If you like do something they don't understand, they're like going to be afraid of it. And so they're like, hey, listen, they're like, people freak out,
yeah.
right? But usually they're actually guardians, or with the ones with the hats, but they're really, it's just like almost like a hoodie, just
Yeah.
not getting you to see them.
Wow.
Same with the watchers. The watchers don't let you see them at all because they're
Those are
just watching.
aliens.
Those are aliens.
'Cause they're just
Ancient
watching.
aliens. Just
They're-
watching. They don't. They kind of make sure the balances are in place. They don't interfere.
Okay, because they need to maybe step it up and do
I'd
some
be-
more interfering.
I'd be down if they
Yeah, that's
interfered
the
a little
problem.
bit.
We have free will here, and we're not. Yeah, they don't take. They're watching the between worlds, kind of like
Oh.
like making sure we're not dismantling too much there, and this vice versa.
Don't worry, we're not. We're destroying
What we're doing in
everything
this
here.
world.
Yeah, I feel like
we're pretty busy fucking shit up
No,
over here.
are they watching or are they just merely observing?
They are on watch, so to
Okay.
speak, right? And I've seen
Got
them. I had a very crazy experience with that, and I've seen them a few times, and they kind of look like, you ever see the Fifth Element, those aliens with the
Yeah.
hood,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like swirling, you can't really see them. That's how I see them, but a lot bigger. Wow. That's just what I call them.
Yeah.
And then I met some people that called them that, and I was like, how did you guys
There it
know about
is.
the Watchers? Yeah. I just see them as like ancient. So they kind of make sure the balances between the worlds aren't broken too much.
Wow.
This world is a different set of aliens, I think, that are trying to wake us up. But again, we're scared of everything, so it's hard to help people who
Yeah.
are terrified of everything. And we turn on
Yeah.
each other, so.
Yeah.
I recently had a sick cat, and let me tell you, when they don't know how to let you help them, they
Right.
don't understand. So I feel like it could be
Right.
very similar. It's
It is very similar. That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yep.
Yeah.
little idiots.
But although
We're the
animals
We're the little idiots. Yeah.
animals just aren't afraid to die. They're just not afraid of it.
Oh, I like hearing that though.
Oh yeah, they're very. I
Right.
did an animal reading today. I don't really, but yeah, they're very blasé about it. They're like, there's another world. Our body doesn't work anymore. You guys are the needy
That's it.
ones. You want us to stick around longer? We're fine. Just leave it. Leave me alone.
Wow.
Oh, that's a
I'll stick
relief.
around for you a little longer. Okay. Kind of.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
So they're not afraid of death like we are.
Wow.
That's a relief. That's
Yeah.
a relief.
Yeah, they're good.
Um,
Oh my goodness.
again, we could talk forever. Tell us before we
Yes.
before we sign off. Tell us about your YouTube, your TikTok, all the things what you're doing and where people should find it.
Okay, so I'm Adela Lavine everywhere, so you can find me. I have a YouTube channel where I post all of these types of things. I have a Patreon that I do extra stuff for people who want to really learn. And I post my classes and stuff I do online, and when I read in person at the Mystic Museum. And you can find me on Instagram, Adela Lavine. And I've been doing the TikTok thing, and I've been hashtagging the witch talk thing and the spiritual talk. And AdelaLavine.com if you're interested in reading or classes. So it's pretty easy to find me. You just put in my name at any one of these places, I'll come up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're amazing at what you do. So I
Thank you so
highly
much.
recommend.
Thank you for having me. You
Yes.
guys
This
are
is
so,
much
fun.
fun. Thank
you for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, we did sign off already. But
we're
then,
back.
Adela, you were like, oh, I forgot to tell the story. And immediately I was like, I'm going to throw up. It's crazy.
It was okay. When I was first starting out, this is why you earn your stripes in everything, right? As professionals in what you do, you can testify that that's how it is. And this was my earning of stripes. And I had my boyfriend at the time's mom was a counselor, and she had lost her daughter. And actually, she was the one I kind of first person I ever met who talked about psychics, as I grew up with nobody talking about it. And she wanted to help this lady, and she wanted me to read her. And we were going to go to her house. She had lost her son, and I was supposed to meet her there. Well, she was running late. So I went into this house alone. And I was very new at what I did and wouldn't do that today. And as soon as I walked in, it was another feeling of, as soon as I looked around, like the door closed, it's just immediate intuition of like, I definitely felt afraid for myself because I could feel she wasn't balanced. So she's like, I want to show you my son's room. And I'm looking around already really sketched out, and she takes me to the back room, and I look, and on the bed there's like a stuffed giant doll like version of her son in his clothes with the picture of his face on the front. And she's like, this is where my son slept, and I made this. And I was like, oh fuck no, I need to like get out of here. And this is when like phones sucked, so I'm texting, like it's not as slick as today where you can be just like,
it's like
HELP, right?
It's like 3 letters on each number,
right?
Yeah, it's like, and it's like clicking loud,
right? I'm like, oh, and then she's like, oh, and this is where his computer was, but the computer stopped, so she printed out the page the way his screen looked when he died, and she pasted it, and she goes, I leave it like this, and I come in here, and I just had chills. I was like flipping out. Like I have chills thinking about it, because listen, I have a thing. You could put me in the most, quote, haunted, and I say quote because I'm fine with all these places, anywhere, throw me anywhere, put me in all these places, paranormal, but I do not like people who are not there. They scare me more than anybody. Yeah. So she was like that. And I was like, like, I don't know what's about. I was freaking out. And then finally my friend came, she came, and then she like I noticed there's roaches everywhere. And there is a thing to roaches. You see them in movies. I have had this experience when you see an infestation of roaches, and there's really no real reason. It's something definitely spiritual, because it happened to me another time. And it's like everywhere, in the couch, like, and it wasn't like her place was like a mess or anything. And I'm sure there could be a logical explanation, but you know how that inner feeling, like this woman's off balance. I just went into her son's room, and she got a cake for his birthday and brings it out. I was like, I'm going to sing happy birthday and I'm going to my friend. I'm like, we gotta go. Like, I am leaving. And she's like, why to help her? And I was like, there's stuff that I could do for this woman. I cannot help her. Like, she needs a different kind of help beyond like what I'm doing. And she like cut the cake and she ate it. I didn't eat it because I was like,
I would not eat that
grossed
cake.
out and freaked out. And I just bit my tongue until we could leave. But she was like not there. And I was definitely a time where I was more afraid, not of her son, not of anything spiritual, but of her, for sure, because she was so grief-stricken, and that was terrible. And I felt a lot of compassion, but I didn't want to, die or become her prisoner of her replacement child. That's what it felt like. That's the vibe I got. You know what I mean? And she called me after that, and I tried to help her, but she was definitely not there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, making dolls of your kid is just TV movies. I mean, movie type.
It truly
right?
is.
Ugh, I'm horrified.
Yeah, that taught me a lesson. Never again did I just walk into somebody's house ever again without vetting it first. And that's why even today, if someone wants me to do a cleansing, they have to talk to me first. I have to get a lot of questions. I do a lot before I'll go out to someone because you just cannot walk in. Yeah.
That grossed me out.
It was like, and I'm telling you, like the cockroach thing, it definitely did not feel just like I looked at her kitchen. It was kind of messy, but not like too different than other people.
Right.
That's why I was thinking, I was like, it's not like, it's like a sloppy, it's her. I remember going like, it's her. She's in this dark space. And, I don't know. It was terrible.
Whoa.
And that's
So when you asked me, was there a time? I don't know how I forgot that. Probably because it was my beginning years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I'm cool now. No, it didn't. This was my lesson. Hard lesson.
People are scarier than ghosts.
God.
Way more scarier. She scared me way more. Like I would sit and talk to her son all day long in a cemetery at night than to be in that place.
Did you connect to him at all?
I did connect to him.
What
and
did he think?
He was like, Mom, you have to try and heal. Like he was beautiful about it. Very sad, tragic death. It was a class he was taking and in like a defense class or something, and something went wrong. I mean, that's what she said, but I think there might have been more to it.
Okay.
But he was very lovely and sweet and, felt for her, but she just couldn't. That's all. He's all she had.
Oh.
So yeah, and so it was. That's why you have to learn. Like it's not just the spirits you're talking to; it's people you're dealing with as well.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's why I always say like, I can, put me anywhere, I'm fine, but don't put me in a room with someone.
Unstable,
like,
possibly dangerous person,
possibly like that kind of look where she's just not there. Like even with me, she could be like, I just want you to, it's like,
and you immediately feel it too.
Yeah, I could feel it as soon as I walked in and she was talking. I could feel it. I mean, I'm a reader, so I just knew this was all bad. And I just wanted to leave. And, that kind of shows you, today I would have just said, let me go outside. But I was young and trying to be like, I don't want to make her feel bad.
Too scary.
There's so many of those moments.
Listen to your gut.
I would never do that again, but I was young and dumb and trying to just impress people. And it's like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Just try to be like sweet and try to not make her feel bad. Instead, I just freaked the hell. I mean, I just had to go through this hell,
Oh, well, it's a good reminder to,
Yipes.
trust your gut and learn from our mistakes, guys.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for remembering this, because this was...
this is... Wow.
I told you, like, I have so many stories that sometimes I forget, but and I'm like, this is just, a normal life, but that one is not okay.
Ugh. All right, well...
No.
Another goodbye then.
Yes, another goodbye. Whoa.
Oh, yeah! Thank you so much for listening to A Funny Feeling.
If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to share, please send us a voice memo, or you can email us just a letter at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com. I'm Marcy.
I'm Betsy. And don't shit your pants!
That was a HeadGum podcast.